This channel is a not-so-proud member of YouTube's all-encompassing special society of heavily overwhelmed layout enthusiasts. Check any railway show, check any railway club, check any layout, check your own house. You'll find one of us somewhere. Warning, the content of this stream is not suitable for children under the age of 16. The topic, language, themes, attitude, and personality of the presenter is not appropriate for anyone, much less children under the age of 16. Topics discussed will not center on trains and will focus on anything except politics. It just happens trains are running. Any similarity between characters, situations, trains, and intelligent thoughts is strictly a coincidence. Any rebroadcast or transmission of the stream without the expressed written consent of Major League Baseball is strictly prohibited. Viewer discretion is advised. Remember the 3 rules for model train layouts and pretty much anything. It's your layout, do what you want as you want. Do not tell someone else what to do unless they ask you directly what they should do. Do not call out, mock, criticize, or insult another channel on your channel or anyone else's channel. Thank you for your cooperation. Hey everybody, happy Friday. It is Friday again. Where do the days go? Let's go straight into the hellos and let's see. I may have missed some of the earliest comments. I saw a few people. Hot Dog Pilot is here. Nice to have you. Randall Ellison, great to have you here. Andy is Hot Dog Pilot. Gus, nice to have the lunatic here. You should feel right at home here. Tim, my old friend, great to have you here. Tom Couples, another great friend. Nice to have you here, sir. Always so friendly and polite with all your comments. Thank you very much. Love you, man. Let's see, who am I missing? Leslie, a great video today. Everybody's telling you that. Hopefully you caught my one question on it. I know I could Google this crap, but I like to ask people rather than just Google it and read it for myself. I like to talk to people that are in the trade, so to speak. And so it came up in the middle of that video. I could have Googled it, but I thought I'd just type it and ask you. So that's Leslie is here. Hillbilly Railroad, welcome in. I believe Scott. Right? I could get that wrong. Let's see. Damien, nice to have you, Mr. Laffer. Yes, I did get your email. I don't think I responded. Apologize for that. I'm really bad about, I've got so many emails and sometimes I forget to respond until I see the name again. Mark, hey, welcome in. Mark from Hemmeldown, who also has a great video up today, an update on his loft build. He's moving very quickly and it's looking great. Asking for advice. Edward, long time no see, about a whole 3 minutes. Let me see, who did I miss? Hey, John from Mystic Railroad is here. And, hey, slow down. Paul Vosman is here. Just keep hoping, because obviously we don't know. But I know you haven't been feeling well for a while. Hopefully it's slowly getting better. You told me yesterday it was slowly getting better. That's great. Joseph Agliato, another big, strong supporter of the channel. Great to have you here. Hey, Pauline and Richard are here. Great to have you. Joyce and I are fine. Joyce has had a bit of a rough week. Actually, we're fine, but we've had a rough week. I'll talk about that in a second. Dragon Junction is here. Alan Wiles, the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend, the zipliner. And Andy from March West Junction, another strong supporter of my channel who has always been so kind to me since he's joined my channel. And Warwick Road Andy. So we've got the Andy Club going here. We've got some handy dandy Andys here. Nice to have you all here. Did I miss anybody? I hope not. I hate it when I miss somebody. I feel guilty. It's like when I call out all my students in class and somebody says, you forgot me. I always feel so bad. So I think I got everybody, but I'll catch up eventually. All right. So talk about a couple of things here. Let's get the sort of the bad news stuff out of the way, then the melancholy news, and then go to the good stuff. Hey, Ray Bobel, that's somebody I missed. Hey, Ray, is bowling coming up? Bowling's coming up? I did miss you. I apologize. I always feel so bad. Anyhow, bowling, you've had your organizational meeting, or today's your organizational meeting, or today's your first week. you mentioned it on one of the Sidetrack Sunday or somebody else's stream real briefly last week. So I know bowling is starting. God, I haven't bowled in 20 years. I used to be really good, but I would love to go back to it. No reason I can't, other than I don't trust my shoulders anymore. I've had 2 surgeries, and I don't trust it. Second week. Yeah, I'm sure. And are you still league president? Okay. Hey, Lindy and Kyan are here. Kyan, Opa loves you. No, you can't come up or down, Kyan. You just have to hang out there. So, all right, just the bad news, personal stuff. If you follow this channel, and most of you here do, you know, last year my best friend died, and then, and I talked about it after Chris died. And Chris was somebody I knew more on the internet, although meeting him that one time. And yeah, I sort of had a meltdown when I heard that Chris died. My live stream was not the meltdown, that was the therapy. But I've mentioned that my other best friend, I had 2 guys that for the last 30 years have been my best friends. We were the 3 amigos. We were the 3 Sith Lords, the gang of 3, whatever you want to call us. Closer than brothers could ever be. And of course, Dean died last year. Well, some of you may know my other friend, I've talked about it, is dying. Well, he's dying. It's now down to weeks. So I will be literally, my group of male friends is now gone. At least friends that I've had for years. I mean, my 2 other auxiliary friends have passed away over the last couple of years, but my 2 tightest, closest best friends, Dean died last year, and John probably won't make it till Christmas. So that's just, I'm like I posted on Facebook, I'm tired of all my friends dying. I'm too young to have all my friends dying. You hit an age where people you knew in school, people you know, but my circle of friends feels like we've been in an Agatha Christie novel, and I'm the last one standing. And knock on wood, I don't get sick. But be that as it may. The other melancholy news is we are doing this Chris special. I haven't set a date when I'm going to do it, but if you guys would all, I meant to put it up here, but you can look in the live stream. If you're going to post a video with those little headboards or anything devoted to Chris Whittingham from Hales Heritage Railway, when we do that live stream, just in your video, it's hashtag Chris W HHRR, Hales Heritage Railroad. Chris W for Chris Whittingham, Chris W, hashtag, I'll pop it in the message here so you guys will all see it. It's hashtag Chris W HHRR. Hey, Mark is here. How are you, Mark? And so just if you put up any video, a couple of people have already emailed me their videos instead. That's awesome. Thank you for that. But if you can put that hashtag in your video, it will go up to the page, and then I can just download them off from there and put them in the live stream. But also people can see them up there as well. So that's that. So that's the sad news. That is the melancholy news talking about Chris. So I said in the liner notes to this, I do have a small mail call, officially inspected by U.S. Customs and Border Protection, because this, you never know what somebody from the UK will send you. Yes, this is from the UK. I bought this on eBay, but the seller was in the UK, but I bought it on American eBay. I know what it is. A couple of you may know what it is because I asked you about this. So Tim and a couple of others, don't spoil the surprise just yet. But, oh yeah, there's one other bad news, but it's annoying bad news. It's not sad, tragic bad news. Okay, all the way from the UK. Well, I will say, for what these are, I'm kind of impressed with the weight. These are definitely heavier than some of the stock I get from... Oh, I said stock, so people already might have an idea of what this is. Hurry up, Anthony! Open it! Open it, Anthony! Open it! But I asked a couple of my UK YouTube friends about some information matching some recent acquisitions I have. Oh, these are pretty. These are pretty. You don't know what I'm talking about yet, do you? Because you can't see me opening it. I'm keeping it off camera, but here we go. Ta-da! These are some Grizzly teak coaches for LNER. There's one. And there's two corridor coaches, specifically Grizzly teak corridor coaches. So yeah, you can see the corridor in there nicely. So I think that's kind of cool. Yeah. You guys, you know Heath is a sadist, and he knows you're going to harass him about it, and that's why he goes slow. He goes slower because he knows it riles you guys up. Heath is a bit of a sadist there. Now, I am not an aficionado, so I'm not looking to see if they're all basically the same car. There we go. So I have 1, 2, 3 of these teak coaches. They look identical. Oh, shaky hands McGee is going already, so we'll move to the right hand. So, yes. Yeah, the coach nearly went boom over there, but I have to say, these are my first ever, and these are Hornby. These are Grizzly corridor coaches, teak, and yes, these are to go with the mallard. So I'm very, no pun intended, Richard and Pauline, but I'm very chuffed with these, as you would say in the UK. Very cool, very sharp. Anybody that has these coaches, and I've been a subscriber, you know I always comment, man, I love those teak coaches. I love those teak coaches. There's like 3 sets of coaches from the UK I love. Those magenta, very dark, blood red coaches. The royal coaches as well. But those dark magenta coaches that I don't know the railways enough to know which one, but they're all very cool. So actually 2 of these cars are the same, and one's a little different, I think. Yeah, this one's a little different. It's got the little baggage area or something back here. So very cool. I'm very happy with that. The sad news is I can't go down right now and put it down there and run it with the mallard. I got these to run with the mallard. Well, yesterday, Cayenne and I came downstairs and we're running trains, and we ran the mallard. Cayenne likes to see the mallard go because it's down on the floor and he can look right at it. And he's very good. He doesn't touch. He gets excited. He likes to follow it around. He likes to walk with it as it's going around. Well, Cayenne was up here. Some of you know Cayenne likes to stand here and watch my layout go. So Cayenne was standing up here, and then he looked behind me and he said, uh-oh. And I'm like, what? And he's pointing, train go, train go. That's his phrase. And actually doesn't even say train. He goes, train go, train go. And he's pointing, and I'm looking, and the mallard's not running. So I go over to the controller, and I'm turning it, and nothing's happening. The train's okay. Power's going. The stupid little Hornby control box. This thing died. That stupid little Hornby control box that came with my Eurostar, that burned out. And guys, I've been running the Mallard many times. It wasn't that I had it plugged into the wrong voltage. I have a voltage adapter down there that is set to the correct situation. Whatever it is, it burned out and died. So now I got to go get another DC controller. You know, it can't even, you know, not even, I don't even think I could use a Trix or Merklin Central Station. So Kieran just came in. Hi, Kieran. Hi is here. Hello, Hi. Great to have you back on the internet. You've been away for a while. Make grabby hands on the second. Kyan approves. Good. But yeah, Kyan noticed the train wasn't running, so we went down there and yeah, the stupid little Hornby controller box burned out. Come on, Hornby! Really? It's an El Cheapo controller to begin with. The least it can do is be reliable. Just pump the source in. So I've got to try to come up with a new controller. So I'm going to my local hobby store, which is Hobbytown USA or Hobby Shop USA, Hobby Stop USA. I forget what it is. It's a chain. They have a small train section. And I'm just going to buy some Bachmann Easy Track and try to find a controller that isn't too expensive that will run the basic DC trains because I have the Eurostar. I was going to put the Eurostar up today, but these coaches came in, so I really wanted to run, and I was actually going to put a camera down there to watch the Mallard and the coaches run, and the stupid controller burned out. I'm foaming at the mouth, as you can see. All right, let's get some trains going, and I can vent and catch up with the chat. All right, what are we running today? Well, I've still got the IC2 up. The Railjet is back out. I'm still running a freighter. I'm running the, right below me just went my Czech Eurocity. Being pulled by the German 101, the Deutsche Bahn Museum. And Ifo just came in. Hi. Well, didn't just come in. I just caught he came in. Hi, Ifo. How are you, sir? So, yeah, I really want to set up a little thing here and actually move a camera down there. I don't know where I'd fit it in on here. Maybe over me. With my Euro, with my UK stuff. I'm not going to expand on the UK, although I still want an Azuma. I still want an Azuma Class 800. I really want that Azuma. Just don't tell Joyce. Yeah, I looked at it, and I might be able to repair it. I don't know. At this stage, it's such an El Crapo controller. Anyhow, I might as well get a decent one. Yes, Alan, and you already know I did before you asked that question because you were giggling so hard. Or did I not comment on that video? I thought I did. Yeah, I know I did. Yes, your video was hilarious. Clive from Newland Junction, he put up a short about an hour ago where he was kind of having a little fun with my whole bit. And speaking of my little bit I posted earlier this week, the Scale Figure Amputation Prevention Society, that was a joke. If nobody got it, and some didn't, that was a joke. I was not complaining about the industry. I literally was putting some guys in my new guy, and I'm going to put the camera on the new guy because you really haven't seen him. Railjet below me. Who else? Oh, way below me is I'm running my Alex passenger train. So we got the freight train. Who else is out today? So Railjet, Alex, EC, IC2. I've set up some new views that enlarge some of the cameras. Let's go to some of the quad angles. I've got a quad here, quad view set up for the 4 long views. The ones that kind of scan across the layout. Edward, actually, a lot of times Joyce will be listening to this live stream at work because her kids are gone at 3:30, so she often will put it up on her phone and listen in. And if not, my kids that listen in will tell her. Actually, I'll probably tell her. But yeah, it was quite funny. So let me see, what's the best camera to really highlight this guy? Well, maybe the Joyce cam. Let's go to the Joyce cam. Maybe not. I don't know. Will that one work? Yeah, when he comes around here. Well, I could just turn this temporarily. All right, he's coming around from your right. This little guy here, I was putting some figures in him. So if you look carefully, you can see there are some people sitting in him. So I put some figures in there, and I just started laughing about cutting off their legs, and I just get goofy. Whoops. I just get goofy, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm sorry I have to cut off your legs, but it's the only way, you know, I'm talking to the little figures because I'm crazy. So I started going sillier and silly, so I'm taking the figures, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I have to do this. Click. And by the fifth guy, I'm just being silly. I'm entertaining myself because I was home alone. My daughter was out at a job interview. Joyce was at work. I'm home alone. I'm not babysitting Kyan. And I'm just sitting here entertaining myself. And so I'm just cutting these guys' legs off to fit them in because they don't fit in the American, especially these guys from China. And I'm just kind of, and I start going, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to do this to you. I'm so sorry. And in my head, I came up with the whole little ad, and I just thought it would be funny. I thought it would be funny. I don't know about you, but I thought it'd be funny to do something like what that singer Sarah McLachlan does about protecting the animals or save the whales, all those very sad and tragic. The only thing is I wanted to put it together real fast while it was burning in my head. So I didn't actually take a lot of pictures of, while I was in the middle of it, I turned on my OBS and I quickly wrote a quick script where I talked to the camera, but I should have been popping in pictures of all these little figures amputated or on the layout with crutches. If I had more time to be creative, I would have done that. So yeah, the hardest part was I wanted it to have an acronym, and I wanted the acronym to be funny. And I kept coming up with, it took forever to come up with scale figures and made it one word. Scale Figure Amputation Prevention Society, or SAPS. But I had at least 2 emails, okay, just 2 emails, and at least 2 comments on the actual video where people are like, I'm with you, I'm sick of the way the railway companies, and I'm like, guys, in a way, yeah, it's a problem, but nobody notices their legs are cut off anyhow. It was just meant to be stupid funny. And maybe it was just stupid. I was not trying to start a revolt. Hey, Kiwi Dave, how are you? Could I get hold of a Pico 5500? Is a Pico 55,000, is that a DC only? Because I really want to be a basic controller. So I don't know if I could get a hold of that or not. I mean, I could look on eBay as we go. Hey, Joe Rader's here. Hey, Dave Williams from the TVR is here. Oh, yeah, and my friend Jim at Hover Motion, years ago, about 6-7 years ago, American released a special edition DMU. And a lint class, if anybody cares, it's lint class 648. I have 2 of them. but not the one Jim has. Jim has the Trix version, which is DCC, as opposed, well, it's 2-rail as opposed to 3-rail. But Miraklin made it, and what they did is they, instead of the plastic doors where the doors would go, stay. You know, but like where there's doors here, you know, where there's doors, they put an LED video chip. And so you could use it on your digital function. It played a movie of the doors opening and people getting on and getting off, which was kind of cool until you realized the people came out of nowhere, going on, and disappeared immediately getting off. But it had a little video graphic. But you can go to Jim at Hover Motion, and somebody can, if they're linked to him, they can look up his thing real fast. But the problem is, over a 5-year period, the LED screens burned out, or the images turned very pinkish red. And Jim, with some helps of a techno wizard friend of his, Jim at Hover Motion, repaired it and made it better than new. It was brilliant. I've got a converter, so I can use anybody's voltage. And thank you for the offers, but I will let everybody know who's offering me one, or you can put... I'm going to go ahead and go to the store and buy one, just that's modern American voltage. And it should... And I do appreciate the care and the offers, and I hope I'm not coming across as rude. I just might as well have a working American controller and have it tomorrow. I hope that doesn't sound rude. I hate to... I love gifts. I just hate to say no when people are being so kind and offering. Paul's got the jokes going. Did they look like you, Mark? Probably. Probably. I'm glad you make the joke, Mark. That way I can just add to it. I agree, Efo. And that's what Jim and his buddy said, is that they were first generation and they were just overheating. But it's the first time I've seen it fixed. I have seen guys talk about fixing it on German channels, but I've never, and I'm sure it's out there, I just never saw it. I never followed up. So I'm sure there are guys out there that fixed it. But it's the first time I've seen it done. The German channels I'm subscribed to never got it fixed. The Blue Train. The Blue Train is a Czech Eurocity. But it's being pulled by a German Deutsche Bahn 101 locomotive. I'll just catch it on the DB coming through here. Let's get the DB cam. There it is. It'll be a couple of seconds, but here, I'll let it come up. This is a Czech EC. Which is one car away from being proper consist. Although actually, yeah, it's 7 cars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it's one more car away from being proper consist. And there's the Railjet saying, hey, if you're going to talk about cool trains, here I'm coming through. What did you miss the last few months? You've missed nothing. Joyce and I put up one new song, and that's been it. I did buy a bunch of stuff. I'm trying to talk myself. I'm trying to psych myself up into starting the Fowler car system over there. I've got all the stuff. Now it's just, I got to go under the table, cut all the wiring, resolder all the new motors, all the new reed sensors and reed switches. Not reed switches, but yeah, reed sensors. Yeah, let me see if I can find hover motion real fast. You got her an electric chair. Oh my goodness. That's understandable, Mark. The Railjet is, it's a reddish, almost to magenta, but let's call it a dark brick red, regular red, and then a very dark gray, a charcoal gray. Those are the three colors on it, with a little bit of orange around the doors. It is probably my favorite livery on any train in the world. It's my personal favorite. And the interiors are awesome. And someday I shall ride on one. I'm hoping that someday will be in June next year because Joyce and I are going back to Germany. And yes, we fully plan on riding a railjet from Munich to Vienna. Hey, Jerry's here. How are you, Jerry? But do it again, Let's see, where am I at? Let's do this one. Subscriptions. And bada bing, bada boom. Come on, where are you? Where are you? Bam. Copy. There we go. All right, we're back in business here. And here is Hover Motions. Yes, EFO, I have a Czech Railjet too. I haven't run it in a few weeks, although I did run it a couple of weeks ago. But yes, I have a Czech Railjet. And I do love that livery too, just not as much as the Austrian. And from what I understand, even though it's in the Czech colors and it runs for Czech, it's still basically Austrian and Österreichisches Bundesbahn. Really control them. Because, to be honest, I think Czech and controlled railways don't... Yeah, when we went to Prague and left Prague, it was really weird trying to get our train because Prague doesn't tell you where your train's going to arrive until like 10 minutes before it gets to the platform. Everybody has to stay in the main concourse of Prague's main station and watch all the big boards, and then it says, okay, Eurocity 182 to Bremen, leaving platform 5. And you've got to go find, you know, if you got reserved seats, you got to then go and say, okay, you got to go find the train map and say, okay, what wagon are we in, and where's that wagon going to be on platform 5? It was a little insane. I'm sure there are others that do it, but see, I don't know about the American station. Somebody says, yes, Kiwi Dave, that the new rail car is going. I've stayed on this bit for long enough. I'm just kind of showing off all the different new sets of cameras I've done up. So I've got the multi-view, and then each of the cameras have their own view. So there is. Yeah, we'll just follow the EC around since we're starting. Hey, Simon's here. How are you, Simon? Glad to have you. So, this is the camera we call Up the Ramp. And there's my Czech EC. It's now going into Delmenhorst Station. That's the Delmenhorst Station camera. And then I call this the Village View because you can see the town of Delmenhorst. And then here's this view, my 4K camera view, and that's immediately followed by this view. And then the 11-lane view. Well, the Joyce view, but I forgot I turned it. I got to turn that back. And it's going that way. And then it'll be out of sight for a while, but now you can see it coming up the long view here. So that was following the train around. See, that's why I do the multi-view, because that way the camera, but, you know, the images are smaller. Yeah, it works. Yeah, I mean, you know, this camera setup became an addiction because it's for me. It's, you know, I do this a lot of times when I'm running my trains and not live streaming. This wasn't just for live streaming. This was, I get views I don't normally get when I'm sitting here, unless I had a 360 camera pivoting around. But I'm gonna reshare this. I'm going to put the bridge view on for a second. A lot of people like this view. Hey, there's Clive, speak of the devil. One of the people who followed my OBS series and then did it successfully. It figures I turn this camera on and nobody's there, but they'll all show up eventually. Was George at Florida Railroad Dog. And hey, Robert. Well, everybody should get to know Robert. This is Robert from Robert's Train Set, one of the coolest guys on the internet. Oops, I didn't want to stick myself up that big. But George at Florida Railroad Dogs followed my video and set up a 4-camera view. He hasn't live streamed with it yet that I've caught, but he did a video showing that he had 4 cameras. And one, you could see the excitement he had with it worked. You know, he gave me a couple of shout outs, which is nice. You know, I helped somebody. And he was so excited with this 4-camera layout because he put the cameras in. But in the video, you could hear his excitement because he's talking about these are views I've never had before. You know, it's letting him see your layout from angles you don't normally see. When you stick these cameras in places where you can't stand there. I mean, I can't hover. You can see a camera above me up there. I can't hover. Now, I can stand at the end of the table and look that way, but this up the ramp view, this view, I can kind of get close to it because there's a closet right in that corner. There's a closet right there. And I can show, you know, and I can kind of see, but this down at the table eye level view, it's one of a kind, and I can't get it from here. So having it up here on my screen is amazing. And that's for me and my ADD. The station view, again, down low. What I really want to do is get a good camera and zoom in and really get close into that station. You know, I'm talking to you guys as if you were standing behind me. I'm pointing at my screen and everything else here. I really want to zoom in on that station so you can see the figurines and see the hard work I put into that station. And this is that overhead village view. Now, this image, if I stood up and stuck my hand, but again, it's ground level. It's really cool. This view, again, I can kind of get that sitting here, except I got a monitor in my way. The 11-lane view, again, it's down low. Hey, Curly, Dwight Curly, how are you? Evo, I'm past building stuff for myself anymore. I know a lot of you guys do it. I don't want to be bothered anymore. I used to build everything. I used to build my own computers. I used to build my own radios. I used to do all that stuff myself, and I don't want to build for myself anymore. I know that makes me sound like a horrible person, but I just don't want to grab this chip and that wire and this wire. Soldering has become such a hell for me because I mean, you see it. I don't want to, I don't want to, I would rather spend more money and let somebody else build it for me. It's like my computer. I kind of knew what I wanted, but I didn't want to go through the hassle of waiting for the parts to come in and building it and trying to make sure and going through all the system checks. I'd rather let somebody else go through that hassle, pay them a few dollars on top of what I would have paid for myself, and let that guy go through the hassle than me. I'm sorry, it probably makes me a lesser human to some people but I don't want to build my own stuff anymore. I did it for years, and I guess in some ways you could say I paid the price. The stupid shaky hands crap, it's not fun. That's why I'm in a hurry to try to get some home projects done before it affects my ability to work with larger tools. Right now, micro soldering is just out of the question. I'm left-handed, and if I hold a soldering iron a regular soldering iron for more than 10 seconds, I'm like this, and I've gotten solder and flux and everything all over the place. Behave, Mark. Now I'm hoping to go to a model train show, one of the biggest in Ohio, October 1st. I'm just hoping Joyce doesn't wind up making any appointments that day, because she has certain things she always does on Saturdays, so she doesn't have to miss work. But I want to go to the Berea, the Greater Cleveland Toy Show in Berea, Ohio, which would be the first time I've ever visited that one. Actually, the only other train shows besides the Toledo train show I've ever visited were a couple up in Michigan I went to 2 or 3 times. It's all right, man, you know. Hey, Simon, welcome in. Nice to have you. No, Mark, you're a better man than I am, because I don't know if I could have found the humor in what you've gone through, and it's great that you do. You know, I'm one of those people, if I got sick, they would not make these heroic stories of me fighting cancer and being brave about it. I'd be screaming and crying and throwing glasses at the wall every day. I'm sorry, Leslie. I just saw that one train and I wondered, because it's a class 40. Was it a class 90? The locomotive is a class 90, and it said Network Rail on it, but it looked like it still had the Virgin livery on it or something like that. Hey, Rick's Railroad, welcome in. So, for those of you that joined the stream late, my mail call was, I now have 3 00 coaches, the Gresley Teak corridor coaches, to go with my Mallard. Unfortunately, my Mallard's not running right now because the stupid little Hornby controller blew. But I have loved these on your various channels, those of you that have these. I have always thought these looked really cool, and now I have my own, so I am quite pleased with it. I like them a lot. I'm very happy with them. This is very cool. I only needed 3 of them. I'm not trying to do anything, but the problem is that stupid controller died. Anyhow, let's get my ugly mug off the camera. A face only a mother could love, and she doesn't love me. Yes, I saw that. I saw that. I don't know. I don't know if my... All I know is I talked to Leslie, and who else did I talk to now? I can't remember. I emailed like 3 different people or texted them on Facebook, and Tim was another one, Tim JD, and I said, what about these? Because I had asked what cars ran with the Mahler. That's why I figured some people might know what was coming in from the UK. And of course, when it set the speed record, it had these other colored cars, but I didn't want those. I wanted the ones that it would traditionally have run with, or more often run with. And so several people told me it was the Gresley Corridor Teak coaches. And so a guy was selling them on eBay. I think I paid 25 American dollars for that. So what is that, about 19 pounds, give or take? That's about 19 pounds sterling. And then it was another 19 pounds shipping. And all I remember is either Leslie or Tim or somebody said, that's a great price. And I was like, yeah, and nobody else bid on them because it was on the American eBay. UK seller, but on American eBay. Very true, Robert. I love sarcasm as long as it's not vicious. I am a very sarcastic person, but I try to avoid it being mean-spirited, nasty. Now, yes, Robert is a very nice guy, but you got to watch Robert. Robert can be quite, what's the English term, cheeky himself. And still, Joyce and I will occasionally still talk about when we were at the York National Railway Museum, and the banter between Alan and Robert was hysterical. Those two should have met in a different life and been a comedy duo, because I think they play off each other really well. But Alan Wiles from Dragon Junction and Robert from Robert's Train Set were just funny bantering with each other. Hey, 156 Andrew is here. You're coming to Spalding, or going to Spalding in my frame of view. If you watch the video where Robert's trying to film us, because Robert has it on his, and then I pirated it and put it on my video about... Watch Joyce. Joyce is listening to Alan and Dragon Junction, and she's fallen over laughing in that video. Joyce was enjoying it. But the only other big news for my world of model trains is Märklin released its summer... let's see, where do I want to go? I'm going to pause everything for a minute. And I'm going to go to this screen. And hang on a second. And I'm just going to shrink myself down. No, me. Let me put myself over here. Märklin released, it's that time of year, Märklin released their summer... Their fall, not summer, their fall new items. They released a video yesterday morning, and then the catalog came out. As usual, their fall catalog rarely has anything that appeals to me, but I thought, what the heck, I could share some of this with you. Not that you care, but you know, what the heck. American Connects Generations. All this. This is a Swiss. They're celebrating 175 years of Swiss Railroad. This is a RHB Class 185, blah, blah, and the matching cars they already advertised. And you can see up here, yeah, let me go up here. This tells you the era, the German era, era 4. Hopefully my mouse is showing up on your screen. But that's a Class 221 heavy locomotive. Not my thing. It's not my era. Some Era 4. Now, for those who don't know, Era 4 is the 70s. Pretty much 68 to 85 is Era 4 in the German model train world. Late 60s to mid 80s. And so they're making some 40-foot container cars and that, some special cars. Märklin also owns Schuko and their little model cars here, HO scale. This is the one that's got me intrigued. It's not anything I should be into, but I think it's a gorgeous coloring and it's a gorgeous locomotive. I'll stop here. This is a Class S 3x6 steam locomotive. This is just a gorgeous locomotive. It's from the Bavarian Kingdom, Königreich Bayern, Staatliches Bahn, not Bundesbahn, Staatliches Bahn. The Bavarian federal roadways. And so this is Era 1. And this is how it looked in 1912. Era 1 is everything pre-end of World War I. Era 1 is... but that's a gorgeous locomotive. Ozeanblau. Yes, Ivo. Ozeanblau. S3 Sechstel. All right, Ivo. I was speaking English because... well, you know, American and UK guys. The S3 Sechstel. But anyhow, I just think this is one of those locomotives where the more I look at it, the more I go, honey? And then she says, no. And then I think about it. But look at those cars. Those are some sharp cars. That's really sharp. And then a Class 78 steam locomotive, man, not really my thing. Nice piece of machinery, both in real life and as a model. And then the cars to go with it. This is a small catalog, some box cars. This is all their HO scale. Modern era, low sidecar. I maybe could pick up a couple of these for my freight trains if I wanted and decide what to put in it in terms of freight. But they're showing it both running with the 193, which is the one thing that they're advertising, which I am probably going to get. All right, where did my mouse go? There it is. This is the only one that I put a reservation on. I want a Class 193 Vectron, but I don't know if I'll actually buy it. Because there's a Roco one, which is, I think I want to get a private company. I want to get a private company's Class 193 freight. I've got DB freight, and I want a Class 193, so I'm thinking Roco's got a really cool looking one by TX Logistics. Joyce is fine, Andrew. Joyce is fine. Well, that's what I said, Efo. Come on. You're my go-to guy, but you're getting too technical on me today. I don't know if you're laughing behind it all. You're starting to get like Jean Ricard. I say that with love. And some cool maintenance vehicles here. I don't know, do I really need a maintenance vehicle like that? I'm sure somebody would be like, yeah, that would be cool on your layout. But, you know, I run trains. And a slightly new, the wide angle double slip switch. Nope, not going on my layout. And then this is a series. They have a DC comic series for the Markland startup world. And that's really it for what I would be looking at in this. And then the MHI exclusives. These MHI exclusives, these are things that only shops that are members of a special Märklin, well, it's the Märklin Händlers Initiative, the Märklin Dealers Initiative. You pay a little bit of money and you're the only shops allowed to sell these things. So these are more limited things. And then everything else is Z scale. So no offense, but I'm not going to show the Z scale. So let's go back to trains running. And I just thought I would show you. Yeah, you know, the fall catalog is not that big a deal, or not that big. But there was one thing in it I'm thinking of getting. But I'm also thinking of getting a different version of that. I don't know, Leslie. I know nothing about them. My knowledge is very limited. That's why I got to rely on people like Jean Ricard, EFO, and other people to correct me if I dare talk about more than what I know. Because I really don't know a whole lot. I know what I know. But like I said, the era, you know, eras are not set in stone because there's always transitional periods. So era 1 is like up into the early 1920s, but really it's up to the end of World War I. Because things started changing because of World War I and right after World War I. Even era 5, which was modern until the new modern era, mid-80s to mid-2000. Late 90s up to 2005. And for me, at least, that's easier to understand than the UK era system where there's 9 or 11 depending on which magazine. The Germans just lump it all. Pre-World War I is era 1. And in some ways I'd like to see Germany or the German markets divide that era up. You know, like pre-1850, post-1850, turn of the century. There had to be some changes. Well, the prices for the Märklin stuff are going up. All the German companies are also jacking their prices up. I've already seen locos that I would have paid $250 for last year are now $280 to $300. So there's definitely a 10% markup in price. Now that doesn't match with some of the insanity that Hornby has done. And as my UK friends, is Hornby the only company that's gone really? I know everybody's price is going up, but it's like Bachmann not gone as crazy as Hornby with their markups. Because I see so many guys that are Hornby fans, but both the quality of Hornby and the ridiculous prices that Hornby has jacked their stock up to I just seen so many videos where people are pointing that out more than say Bachmann, Dapple, or Dapple. And some of the other companies. Paul Bozeman. The People's Front of Judea. No, we're the Judeans' People's Front. Splitter! With overlapping. Thank you, Evo. I did not know that, see? Thank you. I did not know that Era 1 is divided into different sections. I have just always seen Era 1. I'm Brian, and so is my wife. All right, all those who don't want to be crucified, raise your hands. Sorry, we're doing Life of Brian here, people. You only need another 4. Somebody asked me a question last week in the stream, and I should have marked down who it was. But they asked me, or maybe they asked it in the comment section, do I have more locos than I thought I would have at this stage? Yes. I probably have twice as many locos as I told Joyce I would have at this stage. I remember having 10 locos or trains. Combination of, rail cars, DMUs, EMUs, the car sets, the electric car sets, like the ICs. I remember having hitting 12, wow, I've got 12 now, and thinking, I've got so many, and I'm double that now. I have at least 24 locomotives and trains. I might be closing in on 30. Shh, don't tell Joyce. Lindy, if you're still listening, Joyce, your mom can count it on her own. Yeah, and that's a great point, Robert. They're going to have to learn their lesson the hard way. Because when I first started watching model train channels in 2018, well, 2017, no, it would have been 2018. When I started watching UK model train channels in 2018, there was a big divide, the Hornby fans versus the Bachmann fans. You could go to a channel and right away, this person was a Hornby person, this person was a Bachmann person. There were very few channels that were like, I love them both. I don't recall seeing channels, but regardless of whether they love Hornby to begin with or hated Hornby to begin with, there's definitely a very anti-Hornby emotion swelling in the 00 community. The cheesemakers? What's so special about the cheesemakers? Well, I don't think it's just cheesemakers. I think it's symbolic for anyone who works in the dairy industry. And of course, if you're a Hornby lover, there's old Hornby when they were quality versus the new stuff that really, I can't speak. I have no room to talk. I haven't bought anything new Hornby. The newest Hornby I bought was that Eurostar, which came out years ago. And yeah, my controller is a POS. That little Hornby red knob thing. POS. Yeah, well, Ray, I find your comment utterly ridiculous. And let there be no more talk about it. It would stop you doing Robert's train set? Yeah. You go hide or we'll tan your hide. Yeah, I was enjoying the Southeastern livery because it's one of those things that outside of your video and every now and then, because I don't have a lot of rail fanning guys videos. Simon, I joined your channel because we bumped in somebody's live stream and talked, and I liked what you were saying, and then we talked offline. We talked on Facebook or what have you for a bit. And so I joined your channel. But you and Leslie, now when I joined Leslie, Leslie was also building a layout. Hint, hint, Leslie. But Leslie is really, and 156 Andrew, you guys are really the only pure rail fanning channels I follow. So I don't see a lot of these things, and I certainly don't see toys of them. I don't see Southeast. So different is cool to me. Different is cool, usually. Yes, Ray, I have a beef with you, and let's make no mistake about it. Or I will hoof to boot you out of the room. Shall we continue? I feel a challenge coming on. I've already outgunned you all, but we'll see what the chat comes up with. Yeah, yes, the Midland Pullman, and anybody who's got models of those, I know, Robert, do you have Midland Pullmans, the Midland Blue Pullmans? I think Alan does. Robert, I think, does. And a couple of other channels I follow have them, and yes, I love them. I think they're great. Dutch Intercity Control Cab is 150 euros. You think you hurt your calf? Well, at least you didn't stretch your sirloin muscles. Well, I'm hoping you get them done by tomorrow too, Dave. Milking one, there's a good one. I still have thrown more than you guys have thrown back, but at least we're still getting some in there. Blue Bachmann are 300, is that 3,500 or 350? Wow. Oh, 500 pounds. Gotcha. Yeah. It's a little tenderloin now. Well, yeah, your loin would be a little tender with all the beef stroganoff you've done. Oh, yeah, I went there. We just went our... Nah, that was too much of a stretch, Andy. I'm sorry. It's that, nope. We have to give you an F on that one. I still want an Azuma, and those were, I was seeing them on sale for about 410 pounds at a couple of shops. I still want an Azuma. Azuma. But if we're running out of cow puns, maybe you can go to Jersey and find some more. You know, you could Guernsey in Jersey and see if you can find any more cow puns. Well, when you're making a burger out of beef, isn't that a cow patty? But you don't want to step in it. Yeah, Sam's got his cow, his Bowman or whatever he calls it. All right, now we're switching into state puns. The only state pun I've got is the character from Series 1 of Matt Clark, Mississippi. Mississippi, the school marm dominatrix of the Itchy Crotch Club. Yeah, Tim, we're going to keep hands off that joke. Because pretty soon we'll have everybody wanting to get involved, and then it'll be just a stampede to a cattle call. Ooh, 2-1. 2-1. Frisian, Holsteins, yep. Holsteiners are very common here. Ayrshire cows, the short hairs. Wouldn't pay 900 pounds for the whole company. Clive, if you could buy right now Hornby for 900 pounds for all the problems it's having and be the CEO, you would do it. Anybody would do it. Let the company tank. I'll make money on the bankruptcy. Difference between a gold miner and a gourmet. One stakes his claim and the other claims a stake. It's rare to hear steak jokes. Oh, I don't know. I think steak jokes can be well done. Sometimes the humor's only medium. But I prefer raw humor myself. I hear that, Clive. I don't think you're alone in that sentiment. You know, you don't win by cutting quality and jacking up prices. You know, Ifo, maybe you can either back me up or clarify this. My company, Merklin, was going under a few years ago. And they were bought out by a group called the Simba Group. It was owned by the family until either the mid-'80s or mid-'90s. And then the family went public with it, and they kept losing money. And then the family sold it. The Merklin family sold it. And then whoever bought it from Merklin buried it. And then this company called the Simba Company bought it, and they put a guy, the son of one of the chief executives of Simba Corporation, Florian Schaefer, they put him in charge of Merklin, and he basically created a 5-year plan right before I got into model trains to turn Merklin around. Because everybody was screaming the quality was bad, the company was going under. Merklin was in bankruptcy. Merklin went bankrupt at one point. And they turned it around. There are still some old timers who are like, oh, the quality of Merklin's nowhere what it was 40, 50 years ago. Well, the quality of very few things are where they were 40, 50 years ago. But considering where Merklin was 10 years ago, 15 years ago to where it is now, it's been a huge, and Merklin's making profits. Merklin has been 6, 7 straight years in the black. They've been making profits. After something like 20 straight years in the red, they're in the black for 7 straight years or something like that. They are making profits. And they didn't do it by cutting quality. I look at a couple of things I've seen that people showed me from that were Merklin from the late 90s, early 2000s, and they're not as good as the stuff I'm buying now. All right, well, thanks for popping in. Take care, Mark. Good night to your daughter. I remember those days. Hey, Nancy, how are you, Nancy? Hey, Nancy, the New York steak is fine as long as it's not the New York strip steak. We can't afford the X rating. We just don't need the strip. Yeah, although we're seeing that with everybody now, especially the stuff that's made in China. China, and I'm sorry, this is not political, but it is train related and economical. The quality of metal in China is so low grade. And I know Barry Davis did a couple of videos where he talked about the great quality of Chinese metal. I won't buy screws at my hardware store if it says made in China because they are so low quality. And a lot of the model trains, and this is biting Pico in the butt, and I think this is biting... Now, I think part of the issue Hornby had is they changed factories in China. Didn't Hornby finally shut down a couple of their factories and built new factories, and the transition's been killing them? But so much of the train where their stuff is made in China, Pico included, the metal quality is just not good. It is low-grade metals, and yeah, they're getting the Maserot, as it's called, the zinc rust, the zinc pest, as you called it. The metal just... I've got stuff, toys I bought for the kids 5-10 years ago, and the metal parts just eroded away. They get that Maserot or zinc rot in it, and it's just ridiculous. Well, hey, James at Eagle Creek Yard, thanks for coming in. Okay, the Kamaz bolts, gotcha. Yeah, Leslie, we call this in my economics classes back in the day, we called this the Walmart factor. Walmart took an American bike company called Huffy and destroyed it, although Huffy is back. But it's not the original company Huffy. Somebody bought the name and is releasing bikes under the Huffy name. But Huffy was the #1 bike company, even over Schwinn. Huffy was the #1 selling bike in America for 30-some years. And when Walmart exploded across the country, Huffy wanted their product in Walmart. And Walmart said, fine, but you have to give us bikes at $79 a piece. We want to sell them at $79, so you have to get them to us at price point of $49. And Huffy's like, we can't. The cheapest we can sell them to you is $79, and they'd be $109 to $129 with your store markups. And Huffy was in Toys R Us, Children's Palace, an old toy store that went out of business, and other places. But Walmart was dominating the market. So they finally agreed. And it killed their American factories. They closed their American factory and they moved it to Mexico and then Vietnam. But they still couldn't meet with quality. They couldn't meet that. So they started buying the low-grade metals, and people were buying their Huffy bikes at Walmart, and 2 years later, the metal was rusted out and crap because they had to buy cheap metal, and Huffy went out of business. Walmart killed Huffy because Huffy wanted to meet that price to get their product in. And so first they closed their American factories and moved overseas like so many American companies do. And now all of a sudden it's our current president's fault that all these companies are in China. No, companies have been moving to China since the 70s. And all these companies, to meet these price points, they either close their factories and go to countries where they can pay low wages and then use low quality product, but sell it at either the same price point or now they're jacking it up. And it's a horrible business model, but it's the modern current corporate business model. And that's my economics rant. Yeah, yeah, and I totally believe that, Damien. They were using zinc and the zinc and other metals, and that I always know it by the German nickname Masrat, or Masrat pest. You know, that just, it rots away and they just break in half. I've seen that in videos, Damien. In fact, did you do a video about that too, Damien? Because somebody else did a video about their older Miraklin stuff from the 90s, and how Jim at Hover Motion did a video on that, showing how he had to fix some of his vehicles. That video he did like 2-3 years ago, because the zinc decay. He got out one of his old trains that he hadn't run in a while and was doing a tune-up on it. So that video was probably 2 years ago. 2 to 3 years ago. Jim at Hover Motion did that. And yeah. So you see companies like Brava, Rocco, and now Miraklin are using better quality metals. The Zinpest, the Mazakarat, yeah. Zinpest. I see we're going with still going with the dad jokes going. Exactly, Efo. Exactly. Yes. There were some old Tyco in the United States, Leslie. Tyco and some other low-grade companies also suffered from it. It's been around forever, because when they were using it pre-war, when metal was being rationed, and then post-war, when there wasn't the quality metal around yet, it was around. But, you know, when you get your die cast, like your Hot Wheels cars that are 60 years old, because they never went to the cheap stuff. Other toy cars did, but Hot Wheels and Matchbox didn't do it. That's why you can find a 50, 60-year-old Matchbox in crappy shape, but you can restore it, because there's a couple of channels I watch where they restore their old Matchbox and Hot Wheel cars. As long as it's somebody else's bra. Oh. See, we got so much good chat going on. I'm trying to keep up with it. It's a trade-off, Robert. It's a trade-off. Because I don't think things would be as expensive as we think they would be. We would just have to cut back on the profit margins, because years ago corporations talked about profits. Now they talk about profit margins, because everything's into shareholders, and the company has to make, each executive and each shareholder has to make a bigger profit. When that stuff was kind of regulated and controlled, it wasn't so horrible. But yes, because now it's not just making a profit, it's about profit margins to keep investors happy. And that is the dagger in the throat. Hey, Richard Brown, how are you? Hey, Robert, thanks for joining us today and a lot of your great input, man. Thank you. We had a really interesting train discussion. So you take care of yourself, Robert. It's always a pleasure. Thank you for coming in, man. There's that, too, because why people don't understand 60 years ago, you can't put certain metals together. Even housing industry understood that. I should let you guys scan around a bit. Like I said, I've added some new, these 4 views are, it just lets you see them slightly bigger without, you could still see multiple images. I was just messing around and created what I call quad angles. So this is like the 4 angles that are far off, you know, from the 4 corners of my universe. But it just lets you see these things slightly bigger. Sorry. Had to do a message real quick. Going, gone. And then this quad is sort of like all the close-ups. All right, Ray, take care. Thanks for stopping in. Hopefully your days are getting better and better. I watched your video today, Ray. I don't remember if I commented or not. I'll have to go back and check. No, I have not tortured or mutilated any characters, any figurines today. Yeah, that's one thing Joyce and I won't do. We won't do a live album. No live album of our singing. Bing! Speak of the devil, that's her. Joyce is just on her way home from work now. She gets later and later. And then these are the 4 cameras that are on my, looking towards my Delmenhorst side of my station. So that's what these 4 cameras have in common. These are all looking at Delmenhorst. Yes, that's true, Efo, they are. But even the HO guys, and it has nothing to do with the figures, it's the, you know, to fit the stuff in, the wiring and some of the other stuff, you know, they raise the floors. So, you know, you don't see the seats, but, you know, you usually only see the torso anyhow. But it's common knowledge. We've all had to since day one. Even before I put the first people in a train, I had already watched plenty of my Miracle in German videos and seen that Preiser sold them without legs, and saw model people talking about you have to cut the legs off to fit them in the seats from the adult models. Some of the models, teenagers, kids, you obviously don't have to do that. Sometimes you have the guy sit with the spread legs. You don't necessarily have to do his legs, but most cases you do. If you take HO figures and put them on a 00 train, maybe not. But yeah, it's just, especially when you're dealing with 1/95th and 1/100th scale, you know, they're not even 1/87 scale, they're reduced. Yeah, some of them are. You know, you get some of that, like Woodland Scenics. All their figures are basically old molds of Nock and Preiser. Because I will buy an older Nock set and then I'll buy a new Woodland Scenic set, and I'll have the same exact character. Sometimes the same color paint scheme, sometimes different. Oops. Wrong one. Wrong drawer, wrong drawer. But see, I have... Well, that's not going to work. I have... These are my generic, you know, basically from China. Generic companies like this one particular company is called Eve model or Eva model. And I'm going to go with my old American and maybe Canadian friends here. I'm going to enlarge this for a second. Let me get this in the camera. I don't know if it will focus. I don't know how well you can see that. But they made the Ruth Buzzy from Laugh-In character here. The little old lady from Laugh-In. Ruth Buzzy's little old lady character. She's even got the purse to beat up Artie Johnson with. Caught it. But yeah, some of these are the really crappy Chinese figures mixed with some of the like second generation. Like a lot of these are clearly old Prizer and Nock figures, like in that package there. Oops. And then here's something I bought 5 years ago. 100, this is Nock. This is Nock. Or Knock, as some people say, but it's Nock. N-O-C-H. Nock. Yeah, I've painted like 8 of these, and I can't paint them anymore. So I don't know what I'm going to do with these. I was going to custom, like, I have made some custom figures. Like, this is my friend Heinz, who passed away Christmas of 2020. That's my friend Heinz. He's the one that basically, he and his wife are the ones that chose me to start the exchange program I did. But that's Heinz. I have my friend Piotr, he's in there. You can see my friend Piotr and his currywurst shack from Dumb and Horse. I don't know why I haven't put that back on the layout. I guess I'm just waiting to do it. Anyhow, let's go back to trains. Yeah. What? Well, that was a female. But yeah, it's an old Prizer set. But that came with those Eve models. So like you said, Evo, it's confirming what you said. They're old Prizer or Nock. You know what? I've never seen the Alhagen figures. I buy lots of Alhagen stuff, but I've never seen their figures. I'm going to have to look those up, Efo. Fowler is hit and miss. Sometimes I think the quality of Fowler is not as good as it used to be. Prizer is usually fairly consistent. Nock is fairly consistent. Oh, yeah, the crest. And somebody already answered. Yeah, that's the city of Dresden. Dresden. But in American English, we say Dresden. I think in British English, you say Dresden too. But Dresden. The funny thing is, if you ever listen to my kids talk, my kids now have a rule, which is they pronounce the name of the city the way it's pronounced in its native language. You know, like most of us Americans, we say Edinburgh, and I try to say Edinburgh, but every now and then I'll say Edinburgh again, because in Scotland and in UK English, it's Edinburgh. But it's funny that the people who go, it's Edinburgh, still say Dresden or Berlin. But my kids now say Paris, they say Dresden, they say Berlin, they say Potsdam, they say Hamburg. They pronounce it because of all their years of German or being in France, well, laying over in France on our way to Germany. They just made it a rule among themselves that they will pronounce the name of the city based on the way the locals pronounce it. Yeah, well, apparently I've gotten the excellent machines because I bought a lot of model houses on my layout. I probably have more Auhagen on here than anybody. At least that I've built. I bought a lot of stuff at garage sales and cleaned them up and fixed them up and modified them. Hey, Mick, welcome in. But yes, I did actually have some people take my little video seriously. Like, no, guys, it was just tongue-in-cheek. I wasn't even complaining about having to cut off their legs. It was a stupid thought that occurred to me. I thought it was funny, and what happens when I think something is funny, I write it down and make a video. All right, Kieran, thanks for popping in. And Leslie is taking off as well. All right, Leslie, take care. You guys have a good evening and rest of your week. Yeah, now, Ifo, you may disagree with me. I still think that Fowler Buildings and Volmer and Keebry, I think overall they're higher quality. Their detail is better than Auhagen, but Auhagen gives you more bang for the buck. You can buy a model for $20 from Auhagen that looks almost as good as a $60 or $70 building from Fowler. And that's the difference. I still think the Fowler building might look slightly better, but if you have the same basic type of house or shop, the Fowler is half to a third of the cost of the Auhagen is a half to a third of the cost of the Fowler version. And so I'll buy the Auhagen and do the touch-ups that maybe are the slightly lesser quality. But for what you get for the money, Auhagen's awesome. So I don't think individually their models are as good as Fowler or Volmer. But quality for price, Auhagen's better. They're not that cheap in the UK. How are they compared to, Clive, how are they compared to, say, Fowler or Volmer buildings? Because to me, they're a half to a third of the price of Fowler and Volmer models of the same size. Hey, Raymond, you never miss anything here. And again, not that cheap versus are they cheaper than... Because you guys over in the UK... You guys have all those cardboard kits like Richard builds on his channel, Trains in the Attic. And they come out brilliant. I mean, those cardboard kits and now laser cut and 3D printing, they're changing the model landscape. Of course, everybody's got videos about that. But, you know, the Metcalf stuff is for being cardboard buildings, especially when you do the little touch-ups. You know, my friend at Dudley Central, he doesn't post videos on YouTube much anymore, if at all. I mean, I think he's put out 2 in the last year and a half, though he put stuff on Facebook. But he does such great work with his Metcalf buildings. And when you put them on the layout, you wouldn't know they were cardboard. Alan's got Metcalf stuff that just looks great. You have to look really close and go, oh yeah. And then look at what Paul at Galgorm Hall, and Tony at Tony Northeastern, what they do with cardstock. You know, they're scratch-built cardstock buildings. Holy cow. So no, you don't have to pay for expensive Fowler plastic if A, you're good enough to build with cardstock, or B, you can touch up an Auhagen building. Because here in the U.S., and when I order online from Germany, Auhagen is half the price, sometimes a third of the price. Same size house, 3 levels, so wide. The Fowler will be $69.99. The Auhagen will be somewhere between $17.99 and $25.99. The Fowler will be $49.99 to $69.99. Every now and then, Fowler releases a kit of, you know, where it's much cheaper per model. But again, bang for the buck, Auhagen is better. Fowler and Fulmer and those guys, slightly better quality, or maybe much better quality. But the price you pay for Auhagen versus Fowler, I'll buy the Auhagen and touch it up myself. David, your scratch building, and gosh, I don't want to make you feel bad, but when you were doing your Merthyr and you started that was genius. It was brilliant. You are right up there in terms of scratch building. What you do, you're right up there with Tony Northeastern, Tim at the Scrap Line, and Paul at Galgorm Hall. You are that good. I'm not saying that just to be flippant. And I don't know if you deleted all those old videos, but anybody who wants to argue with me, go back and watch him when he was building the Merthyr. First he started N scale and then went HO, or started HO and then decided to do N scale. And was scratch building the old Merthyr station and the buildings along the side. It was brilliant. You are as good as some of those big name guys. You just kind of decided it wasn't going to work for you. But oh my goodness, your skill at scratch building is not surpassed, even by more famous channels. You are an exquisite scratch builder. In fact, you're very similar to Tony Northeastern. Thanks, Gandalf. Yeah, I just had fun, and I've loved it. Like Clyde put up a quick video, a little shorty video, showing that some of his figures did not need amputated. I've actually got a couple of vehicles that the figures did not need their legs amputated. I also am aware Prizer and other companies do make pre-amputated. That was just all silliness, all extreme silliness. But not everybody got it. Most of you did. Well, that's your new job too, Richard. So you have to push yourself, because that's part of your job now. You're building layouts professionally. Yeah, thank you for mentioning that, Efo. Josswood. Oh, they make good stuff. Josswood makes really good stuff. You got thumbs down? That's just stupid. You did, Paul? That's really cool. Yeah, and I can vouch for it. Alan's got a lot of Metcalf buildings in his shed. I don't know, would you say a lot or a few? But you got some for sure. And I'll just stop now before I embarrass Alan again, because I'm about to go giggly schoolgirl watching my K-pop band live. Because I just said, the minute we talk about that, I'm like, as soon as I mention, yeah, I've seen what's on. I immediately in the back of the brain goes, I was in the shed. I was in the shed. I was in the shed. I start going silly again. I was in the shed. Hark. I hear a wifey poo. Now remember, guys, keep it quiet what I said.
Oh, dear. Oh, can't touch it.
Here. How do I center that? You're going to have to scoot in a bit. Well, I'm trying to, you know, your modesty. Sometimes you bounce. I enjoy, and others enjoy, but, you know. You start laughing or rocking, and
oh, yeah, indeed.
we get distracted.
All right.
Oh, you need the mic.
Because ain't nobody going to hear me.
One mic, just for you. Andy.
Oh, that's right. Hi, Andy. And hi, everybody. Hi, Richard. Hi, Paul. Oh.
There's more to it than what you see, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I saw all of it. Yeah, I was just having flashbacks to going into the shed and giggling.
Oh, that's nice. Hi, Tom. Azuma?
And then earlier...
Hi, Kiwi Dave.
Yeah, Azuma.
Azuma.
Yeah, Azuma.
Azuma.
As in, the one you keep saying you can't buy that.
Those are cute. They go
Yeah,
with your
hand
guy.
one here. Hand one here.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Look,
So,
aren't these
hi,
beautiful
Ellen.
coaches?
Yes,
These are 00 scale coaches. They go with the Mallard.
I know they do.
Look at how nice that looks inside carriage
That's
coaches.
a pretty one.
They are pretty, aren't they?
They are pretty.
Yeah, there's actually some quality here.
Good
These are
sucking.
older Hornby. I got them for cheap.
Okay.
The three of them were, I think, $50 total.
I heard you got a good deal on them.
Yep,
so.
yep. Tim and Leslie
So,
confirmed
hi,
it's a good deal.
TVR. Where that is?
Dave, that's Dave Williams.
Oh, hi, Dave Williams. Okay, incognito Dave Williams. My bad. Hi, Joseph.
Did you? I don't think you saw it yet.
What's that?
The video he did where he was doing his joking around at the beginning. I don't think you were there when I watched it. He put up a video earlier this week. I don't
this
think
week?
you were
okay.
at work.
No, I wouldn't have seen it this week.
So sadly, she hasn't seen it
I
yet.
have
Sorry.
not seen much YouTube this week, to be very honest.
But I did
So
talk
yeah,
about how
sorry, Ellen, I didn't get to see it.
we were
so
talking about how
I
you
will.
were giggling when he and Robert at York were bantering back and
Right,
forth.
I did. Yeah, you guys are cute. So,
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, the kids were a little rough this week, so we had a much better day after a few parent calls, and so.
Oh, say hi to your
Miss-
grandson.
Hi, Kyan. Love you, darling. I need tosses. So, yeah, okay, he's gonna change it. So anyway, yeah, much better day, but they didn't get to play the fun games, and the rest of the kids really had fun with the games, and so which made it doubly hard on them. So what are we gonna do next week better? So I think we might be turning a corner. I hope. Cute.
Yeah, you guys are real helpful there.
Yeah, I'm really confused, but all right.
No, I kept talking about trains like the Azuma and stuff like that. That it would look really cool here, but you won't let me.
Hi,
and then I'd say,
Philip.
don't talk that. Don't
Yeah,
mention to Joyce.
I'm so mean. I'll need tissues. Okay, Ellen.
Yeah, it was silly fun.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Did you have to
enjoy
do
silly
retakes,
fun.
Alan, or did you just leave it as is? Because he was falling off his chair laughing.
Gotcha.
He lost it. There was definitely one part where he had to stop because he was laughing so hard he couldn't breathe.
Right. Okay. Those are good.
Hey, Philip. Hi, Philip.
I'm sure I look tired.
Yes, you look a bit tired. A little bit ragged and tired.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
You've had a long day at work. I wouldn't know about those anymore.
No, you wouldn't.
Although, I did bike 5 miles today, and then I
Good.
mowed the lawn.
Terrific. Good for you.
That was
That's
a lot of
nice.
hard work.
Yeah, no doubt.
Took me all of about an hour to get it all done. That was
Okay.
hard.
I
So tell me about
believe
your 6
you.
hours at work.
Tim Leonard asked about you.
Oh, did he?
Is he enjoying his retirement? I said, yes. Although that 20-month-old tornado takes 2 days off. That's how I've been referring to him, Lindy. He's a 20-month-old tornado. Oh, we sure love him. Oh, you're breaking your pickle, Helga? It's those tanks, you know. You walked to the shed twice. That's my day. That was your exercise, huh? I need to. Well, Alan has a calendar?
Yeah.
He has a calendar he makes?
Oh, no.
Oh.
You're, yeah, I don't think she saw.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm sorry. I
Did
am
you?
not.
I watched it. Peter,
I'm clearly not with it.
do you know Big Bald Peter in the shed? He's in the shed.
I'm sure I do.
I swear you watched it with me. Last week, Peter did a video where he was talking about doing a calendar. Do you remember that?
No.
Okay. So maybe you didn't see it.
I maybe did. Because, you know, now he's watching his videos of the day, so I'm not seeing as many.
Yeah, she's not, now that she's back to work,
And,
she's not seeing all the videos.
And Liz is kind of ruling the TV at night. And, yeah.
Long story short, Peter ended one of his videos, Peter at Torden Road.
Mm-hmm.
Cool layout. I talked to Peter because he has some German. He has some Rocco and
Gotcha.
other stuff. He's got a little bit of German stock. Really cool guy.
Mm-hmm.
But you would know him when I show him to you. That's Peter.
Yeah, I'm sure I'd recognize him.
Big, bald dude. Oh, Peter in the shed here, you know.
Maybe.
But anyhow, he
can't
ended a
qualify
video.
for
He
that.
likes to do little storyboarding with his figurines now and then. But
Okay.
that's also. But anyhow, he ended one where 4 guys were talking about they had to do some work at the railroad, some railroad work, and the new work involved stripping. And they're like, oh, at least we don't have to strip down for all that. And like, no, you are stripping down. It's a calendar.
Oh.
So then the next video Peter put up, he put up like a 5-minute video where he is in a big terry cloth robe. And I'm like, when the video started, he doesn't let on that.
Yeah.
I'm like, why is Peter wearing a big terry cloth
wearing a robe.
in his shed when he's been talking about the heat there?
Yeah,
It's like,
too
wow, did
hot.
it cool off? But even then, he wouldn't be wearing a robe. And it says, all right, well, they already had 4 guys assigned, March, April. So Peter is May. So he did this video where he's decided he's good, and he walks off. Well, he walks off where okay, I'll be right there, Bob, who's going to take all the pictures.
Yeah.
And then he did a screen picture, a Photoshop picture with his body on like an Arnold Schwarzenegger, Charles Atlas body.
Super.
So now that you know that background, because I don't know if you'll watch that.
Okay.
Alan added to it.
Gotcha.
Alan apparently is.
Also going to be in the calendar.
Alan's doing the calendar.
Peter's a Sarf Londoner?
Yes, a South Londoner. South Londoner.
South. Okay,
South.
gotcha.
You know, because the TH is
know,
pronounced F.
It's that foreign language. Andy, are you February? That's cute.
So I won't give any more away. I just wanted to set it up because I don't know that
Yeah.
you go back and watch Peter's video because you're not subscribed to Peter, I don't think.
No. I'm not. Whew. Well, I guess you're ordering a calendar, are you?
Yeah, you still had the 6th. You're Mr. August. So I just typed in on Alan's video that I was asked to do the calendar and then they rejected me.
Oh. They did?
I was the wrong scale. You know, HO is smaller than 00. Those British guys have those 00 scale figures. I'm just an HO scale guy. Or I could really make them feel bad and go 1 scale. I got the helmet on backwards and you didn't say anything.
Oh, sorry.
Verdammter Fraulein.
I thought you were just happy to see me. This poor Pickelhauber's been hit by a tank. It's starting to fall apart.
It got stepped on by Cayenne.
Oh my God. I believe that. Thought you were G-gauge?
I'm any skill you want me to be.
It's like it.
My legs had to be cut off.
Oh,
And we circle back around.
good job, good job, good job. We like it when jokes do that. Are y'all hitting the like button? Because we really need you to hit the like button.
Well, we only got 18 people in and 22.
Well, I know, but
I
there's
never
people,
did see what our peak
there's
number
people here who
was.
haven't hit the like button.
And we actually talked a lot about train stuff.
Wow, it was even train stuff. It's still sort of train stuff.
It's still train stuff.
Hi, Steve.
Hi, Steve. See, that's a joke only she and I would
Right.
get. Nobody else here would get that. Hi,
No,
Steve.
No.
Turtle.
Yep. Local,
You're a
radio
Pisces,
show.
especially after a few Guinness.
Guinnesses?
I am wie heißt das auf English? A Sagittarian. I am a Jager. What is a Jager? A Jager. Jager. Was ist das Jager?
Gotcha.
Not the Jagermeister, aber a Jager.
Sagittarius, and I am a
Was?
Gemini. Whether we get along or not, it doesn't matter, because we do.
Yeah, according to the old horoscope stuff, Sagittarians and Geminis don't get along.
It's a lie. So, all of day one of my summer rail paintings uploaded now.
I still have not edited all the
Get
4K
two done.
video
I
from
have
our
many
trip to
days
the
worth of
UK
painting
to
to go through.
put it up.
Hi, Nancy.
Yeah, I saw the first video you posted. I haven't watched the second one you posted. You have a Shay on the way to make your day. That's okay.
You do know that Anthony has 00 tracks, so he is eligible for your, and on 00 trains now,
Give
so
me that.
he is eligible to be on your calendar.
But look, now I have double O scale.
Yep.
Double O scale. Mine is double O. Double O.
People.
Double.
People.
No, not
Double.
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 You question me? Raus! Raus! Raus!
Okay, I'm sorry.
Sitz, bleib still.
Oh no, I have to leave now. Cause I gave up on the Pickle Albert Man. Challenge the Pickle Albert Man, not good. So, yeah. We found a box, man. Okay.
A doppelbock.
A box.
The beer man.
Gotcha. He went to Cardiff Castle. Wow, we were in Cardiff Castle.
We were at Cardiff Castle.
Yeah.
Oh, Mark, who just left, he was at Cardiff Castle the other day.
Now I'm trying to
With
remember.
his daughter and...
Oh, yeah, Cardiff is the one that had
And
the
wife.
hands-on stuff. Oh, that was cool.
yeah, you didn't like
This
the
was back-
Bailey. You didn't like the Mott and Bailey section, the old
Yeah.
Bailey part. But you liked
There were
the
interesting.
stuff built in the 15th and 16th century.
There were interesting parts to it.
But it was the first castle we saw in the UK.
Right. I was at the wrong castle.
We did Cardiff.
We saw a lot, so please forgive me because
did
we
Cardiff, then
went to a
Carnarvon,
lot
then
of
Conway.
castles.
And then Edinburgh and Stirling.
Yeah.
And then technically
Stirling.
York.
Right.
We did do the dungeons in Liverpool, York, and Edinburgh.
No, we did them two places. We did them Edinburgh and then York. We thought about doing them in London, but then we didn't.
thought we did them in Edinburgh too.
No, the first one, yeah, we did them in Edinburgh. Edinburgh?
And York.
York. We talked about doing it in London when we came back, and we should have.
Yeah.
Because they were super fun. Somebody's telling me, oh, I'd be way too scared to do it. I'm like, no. I mean, you jump a lot, but overall, it's more funny than scary.
Raymond, that's weird. That's weird. A lot of Schloss. Although we saw, now Schloss does translate as castle.
Right.
And they use that name. You know, you have a lot of
Right.
Schloss and Schloss. But technically, all the castles we went to would have been Burgs. B-U-R-G in German.
Right.
Or Burg in German, as you pronounce it, Burg. Fortified castles. So Schloss is any kind, it's a generic word for a castle. It's any type of castle, from a palace castle to a fortified castle to whatever. A Burg is specifically a military castle.
Right.
A military fortress castle. Because, like, when you think about the Palace of Versailles, in German, that's a palais, but it's also considered a Schloss.
Ooh, I'm starting to stare.
Speaking of which, what is your next Saturday appointments like at Burton's or whatever?
Oh,
Have you gotten that far ahead? I would like you to
Yeah.
keep October 1st free,
I think it is.
because I want to go to that Berea
Yeah.
show, and I thought if you wanted to go, we could just make a weekend of it.
Sounds
We could
good
go
to me.
Friday,
Yep.
spend the night, hotel, restaurant, stuff like that.
After your
Saturday, after the
feed.
live feed.
Get a hot tub room and I'm all there.
Okay. Well, I can even end it. Yeah, we did Jack the Ripper in London.
We did.
Jack the Ripper was in Linden. In fact, where we stayed in London was a 2-minute walk to the Jack the Ripper Museum.
Right. If that.
A minute walk, 45-second walk.
It was pretty close.
We were on, like, Jack the Ripper was on whatever this street was, I forget the name, and then we were on this street, right at the corner. So yeah, Jack the Ripper was a less than 2-minute walk. It was just literally around the corner. Oh, and a new video on a new locomotive. That's cool. I just put up, in the old days when I put up a video of one of my new locomotives, I'd get 400, 500, 600 views. That one didn't even break 200.
Crazy.
By the way, your video was at $8.99 this morning.
Ooh, I'm working for 1,000.
Well, you're 101 off.
Whatever that does. Nothing. I should have been on Anthony's.
But boom. Paul, each one of those jokes you need to say, thank you, I'm here all week, try the veal.
Right. Ooh, there's three. 3 different colors. Good job. You're red, white, and blue there. Just salute it.
Oh, a dark red, almost magenta.
Indeed.
Purplish red, almost magenta.
How's he running?
Say what?
How's he running?
Which one?
Railjet.
The Railjet's been running fine.
It's just his back lights.
The back lights have stopped working all of a
Ooh,
sudden.
he's going slow up the hill, though.
Yeah, well, I don't have them at full speed. I only got them at, like...
You might need to jack him up a little bit.
Everybody's running fine.
Good, I'm glad.
The only one I haven't tested
You
yet, the only
fixed all
two...
That. Does that work very well, AC?
I have yet to have it happen. I need to run the ESU wagons over it, and I need to run the Czech Railjet over it, both ways.
Okay.
And then what's the one locomotive that really didn't like it? Wasn't the 245? Because the two steamers did not like the blue steamer didn't like that, but the blue steamer's biggest issue was going up the incline right here where the C track
right where it
starts to
bends.
go up.
Yeah.
It didn't like that.
Yeah, Liz still hasn't got a call.
I know, and she needs to call them.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
So Monday, call your district manager, dear. And she just gave me a look.
But yeah, we can even end the stream early that Friday and go.
All right, well, we can book stuff.
Or we
soon.
could drive there in the morning, but we'd have to leave early, like
Yeah,
7:30.
let's go Friday night.
And then get there and then spend the night and come home on Sunday. Now it's a 2-day show. I figured we'd do 1 day.
Yeah.
But I want to make a Model Train Outsider t-shirt of some kind.
Okay, okay.
Because there's like 4 people there that know my channel. So it'd be cool to be recognized. Oh, okay, we'll make 2. Just got to make the iron-on decal. And we can put on yours the misses. Well, the thing is, I've never officially decided on a complete logo. I've got one I've done, but I want my daughter to make it look nicer.
Lindy, bring your computer next week.
On Sunday?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you said next week. That would be this week.
It feels like next week.
But she's busy with her job, and
She is, and she's got
we've worked on, and she had a couple of things, and I'd like to combine the ideas. But then I'd like to make a T-shirt that we could do. Oh, DCC, but no sound. No, I've got. Do any of my logos not have sound? If I bought an El Cheapo that didn't have sound, I always send it out and get sound installed. But usually I just buy them with sound.
Yeah, he likes the sound. Cuckoo.
Oh, okay, it's just spinning. The front wheel needs cleaned on. Well, not the front wheel. On the back bogie, the front left side wheel needs cleaned. No, thank you, Paul.
Oh, really? We're not doing the baby bit shirt. It's the baby hacker, baby.
What?
It's the Beatles album with the baby.
Oh, it was called. Well, that was the American Yesterday and Today album. Hang on. I want to check something out here real quick. What's going on there? Oh, I want to check out this. Oh. Okay.
What's the matter?
I gotta get that out of here. It's. I thought that the wheel was looking funny. It's the rubber tire they put on it. I forget what those are called.
Insulated?
No, it's it helps them grip.
Right.
It was coming off. Huh. Sorry about that, guys. I thought it was just dirt, but it was just weird. I noticed that. Traction tire. That's what it's called, traction tire. He's not going uphill, so it shouldn't be a big deal. But a lot of the companies put traction tires on. Now, people like Sam hate them, and some other people hate traction tires. I don't have a pro or a con, but that one obviously had worn and rubbed off. I actually got spare traction tires, so it wouldn't be the Haftreifen. Yeah, the traction tire.
Oh my god. I'm gonna fall asleep here. I think I'm gonna be on much longer, my lover.
I don't have a dog in that hunt as to whether traction tires are good or bad. I think pretty much every train I own has traction tires. I just assumed they all did.
Right.
But I have seen some UK channels that are very adamant against traction tires.
Yep.
Speaking of which, what do you want to do for dinner?
Yeah, I still have half a tray of yesterday's.
Pardon?
I still have half a tray of yesterday's dinner. That's what I had for lunch, though. Or we could do a homemade. We could do one of the frozen pizzas.
We could do that too. We could order or homemade pizza or something like that. Have a kebab. I'd like a doner special, but that's not happening.
Right. You could probably find a lot of it here. Can't you find tzatziki sauce? Pre-made?
Yeah. Oh, I made those ceviche homemade.
You did.
Those were actually pretty good. We made it twice and never had it again.
Ah,
Because AJ and I were the only ones that really liked them.
yeah.
I like ceviche.
If he refuses to get proper points with metal frogs. Okay. And soup in the basket?
I don't worry. You know,
I think I'm lost. Yeah,
yeah, don't worry about it.
it's okay.
Avesta meal. No, we were talking about traction tires, and,
Yeah,
and he's
I
like,
know.
Sam, but Edith.
Yeah, we were going to talk about other channels.
I don't
so.
know. The only track I know is Merklin C-Track. Merklin C-Track. It's so crazy. His argument is void. I have really.
Weren't you listening to Jim the other day?
Yeah. Well, that I told Jim that.
I hollered for the kitchen. That's Jim, isn't it?
Yeah.
You got the Manchester
If
accent.
Alan's still here, Alan was talking about that same video that Jim just put up.
Okay.
And I was watching it last night, and Joyce was in the kitchen, and as soon as the video started, she heard Jim's voice. She goes,
that sounds
"That's Jim!"
Well, I asked for confirmation. I said, isn't it?
Okay, that's Jim, isn't it? But the thing is that, you know, when we went to meet Jim, she had no idea what Jim looked like. I did.
Right.
I didn't know Jim was shorter than me by that much.
Careful.
I'm being polite. I kind of knew what Jim looked like. He's put himself in a couple of his videos, but he is more the voice. So Joyce had no idea. But when Jim opened the door and I forget what he said first, like, "Oh, you're here," or "Oh, you walk."
Something like that. And I thought, oh, yeah.
And she's like, "Oh yeah, that's Jim."
That's his voice.
So the joke is always Jim's voice. She
Yeah.
knows him by his
I
voice.
do. It's very distinct. Look, frankly, I know a lot of you by your voice. More than
But-
seeing you.
Right, true, but
Those of you who do videos.
like some you know their
Are you
names.
Andy? That's funny.
But when you say two peas in a pod, would
That
that
was a
pod
fun
be an
day.
alien spore pod from the Alien movies?
Are you talking the vegetable? Two of the same, right?
Yeah.
iPhone, he runs trains on the carpet.
Now we're not here to do a bash.
That's right.
We're not here to do a
bashing
bash
anybody.
Sam. Rule 3, we don't call out or insult another channel.
Yeah. At least if they're not here and can't defend themselves. That's an open debate. If they're aliens or vegetables. We thoroughly enjoyed our day with Jim and his family.
Sam was one of the first two UK channels. Jim was the first, and then Sam and Will at IC82 were.
Right.
And
Yeah,
I
vote for
enjoyed
Sam.
Sam's channel for a long time. I don't watch it as much anymore because it's just.
Well, for the most part, we like anybody who enjoys their trains.
I watch the videos of the people I talk to.
Yeah.
And I have a limited time to watch videos, so I will
It
watch
takes so much time.
Tim, and I will watch Richard, and I will watch Alan, and all these people who talk to me, and I talk to them. I will watch their videos first, and then if I have spare time, I will go watch the bigger channels. I even am finding it hard to keep up with Charlie Bishop, and I love Charlie Bishop. I think he's an awesome gentleman, but I find I'm not watching his videos because even with retirement, I still don't have time to keep up with all the things, because like I will watch
no worries,
Lewis.
dude.
I will watch Lewis at Moldy Raspberry because he talks to me. So if Leslie Gilpin's got a 30-minute video up and Alan's got a 15, 20-minute video up, there's all these people with 15, 20, 30-minute videos, blah, blah, blah. Through the day, with the 300 channels I'm subscribed to, over 300.
You'll watch Alan.
Yeah, there are certain channels I put, I talked about that a couple of weeks ago.
It got you in trouble.
Yeah.
So,
I was talking about, that's why I'm not watching
no,
Jenny
but
Kirk
I
anymore.
think that's why most people are more likely to watch their friends. Or the channels they really like, you know.
It's all right. It's all
You
right.
kind of do. Yeah, no worries,
You know,
son.
but I have friends in here who also run their trains
On carpet.
on carpet
Yeah,
because
right.
it's the only place they have to run them.
And like I say, we like the channel and the people who they have to like their trains and have fun with it. It's just, it really is. But I mean, that's what's most attractive, I think, to both of us, is that you just got somebody who enjoys what they're doing.
Right. And so the thing is, if I'm subscribed to a channel, I feel the need to keep up.
He does. He's very loyal, you know.
I'm loyal. That's the way to put it. I'm very loyal to you people.
He is.
You're posting videos, I watch and comment.
Yep.
And I watch them all. I don't fast forward through bits.
That's right.
So, I watch the people that I talk to. They get priority. And then if I have time, I'll go back. But I think I've only watched 2 of Charlie's last 15 videos. I've only watched 3 of Sam's last 20 videos. And then there's other channels I unsubscribed from because I realized I just wasn't watching them. It was not that I didn't like them, it was just I'm never watching them. And to get rid of the guilt, I unsubscribed.
Good morning, Artie.
Hey, Artie's here. All right, it's time to leave, everybody. When the Australians start coming in, it's time to go. The New Zealanders, that's fine. But when the Australians start coming in, you know the guy at the door is falling asleep.
Oh, it really is okay, Artie. You're getting up awfully early for this.
Well, at least it's, about 7:48 your time now, Artie?
Is Jean in here?
John did not show up today.
Whoa, what's going on with the dude?
I will get stuffed. I'm going to eat as soon as I get off this stream, and I shall get stuffed.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I won't. I'm trying to avoid getting stuffed.
He really is.
When you lose 75 pounds.
Yeah, you've been here for a while that I know of. So I'm thinking, is there a time difference?
Oh, yeah. New Zealand is a few hours ahead of Australia.
2 hours?
At least 2 or 3, I think.
Why did you look that far?
We're behind.
Yeah, at that point it's sort of hard.
Well, yeah, and don't worry about Raven. Don't take too much offense. I
No.
wanted to stop it before it got negative. You know what I'm saying? It
Right.
didn't go there. I just didn't want it to go there.
Right. Yeah.
You know. Oh, that's cool.
That is funny. Things in the chickens.
Yes. Yes, Joseph. Thank God for Australia. We all had somewhere to send our prisoners to. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was wrong.
We weren't sending our prisoners there.
No, we didn't.
Nope.
And see, at Ravik, there are a lot of people like that, and I love it. You know, me, I needed the digital.
You do you.
Yeah, you do you.
Anthony likes all the bells and whistles.
Yeah,
Yep.
all the bells and whistles.
All of them. All of them.
What?
Well, that's a good reason.
I've got a layout on the, well, I don't have a layout. I got trains on the floor down here, but it's a hardwood floor, but I run them in the living room during Christmas on the carpet.
It's true.
And every now and then I get some other stuff out for Kyan up in the living room.
Have you seen this year's Christmas
They just released it.
train? What's that look
They
like?
just announced it, I mean. It's a tanker. I didn't know if you'd like it or not. It's an oil tanker one.
do we
We've
have
got one of
tankers
those.
on
I've
our-
got one oil tanker one from a few years ago.
on
So
our
it's basically the
Christmas?
same thing with a new design on it for 2022.
Yeah, all right.
So I didn't, well, you know, well look, I haven't
Yeah, I
reserved
guess
it
we
yet.
should look at it.
So, but yeah, I mean,
Check his deltoids.
yeah, but I'd get kicked off YouTube if I checked hers.
It's true. Oh, that's got to be hard.
Oh, Paul, now you're digging into the old dad jokes.
Yuppers. Joseph liked it.
I had a dream I was being attacked by a flock of geese. When I woke up, my pillow had exploded. Deltoid is there, yeah. The needle goes in the deltoids. These are the pecs. I can't check your pecs. I can check there.
I slept like a log. I woke up in the fireplace.
Were you down in the mouth? Aha!
Holy moly.
When I die, I want to go quietly in my sleep like Grandpa, not screaming and yelling like the 5 passengers in his car. Hey, Rick from Folds Bailey is here, who's got a live stream coming on at 7 p.m. USA Eastern Time tonight.
Hi, Rick.
An hour before Cousin Vinny. Yeah, the new guy's running pretty well today.
Who's the new guy?
Right there.
Oh, he's all by himself.
Yeah, well, he only came like that. He's not a locomotive. He's just he's a rail car. They, you know, we rode those to mine. I say that and he slows down there. I think they're getting tired.
Is there a second one that connects to it? Yeah, you need to clean that track, I think.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Artie. I wish there was a way that would sort out for you.
No.
All right, well, I do have a great bunch of knights. If nothing else, you knights of the rhomboid table are awesome people.
Indeed. Good night, Alan.
All right, good night. Alan, thanks for hanging out with us so long. Appreciate it.
Yep, we do.
We're Knights of the Round Boy Table. We meet when we are able.
I'm good, Rick. Just super tired. I had a bad night, so I am
Joyce
seen
was
double.
up a lot last night. She was not feeling well last night.
Nope.
And then she got up and went to work. I would have taken a sick day. She didn't.
Yes, you would have. No, it's all right. I did all right. I'm just sort
Now,
of seeing double.
Then.
Yeah, I know. That was rude.
So maybe you didn't even have a good day with your students today. Maybe you were just too oblivious.
It's pretty low key today.
You were seeing double. Half your kids were gone by the end of the day, but you were seeing double, so it made a full class. I don't think Mrs. Dodge has paid attention. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, really.
There's my smoky voice.
Yep, there's your smoky voice.
It's the nagging wife voice and the little kid voice, Smoky. I don't think she's paid attention. We should go ahead and get out of here. Mrs. Dodge, we're working on our math today. We're counting, and we're going to use these sheep to count. 1, 2, 3. And you're up there.
That sounds like something Smokey would do.
And maybe we'll factor it in somehow. No, I did do a counting sheep joke. Oh, give myself a like? Bing.
23. Woo! Can we get to 30? Anybody
Not
who's
today.
come?
Yeah,
Anybody who's come in hasn't hit that live button? Do you mind hitting it, please?
used to hide in a stack of chairs.
Oh, jeez.
Indeed they are. Nature had to make it that way. Men are, on average, bigger, stronger, more muscle mass. But
3 were found guilty.
until you've sat in the hospital in the actual delivery room and watched a woman give birth, because ain't no man gonna watch a woman actually go through labor and go, I could do that.
That's probably true.
And 2 were executed. They had their legs cut off. Ain't no man in the world, not the biggest, strongest weightlifter, not Jean-Claude Van Damme, not whatever, not Dolph Lundgren, not Charles Atlas, not a young Arnold Schwarzenegger. They're not going to go into a labor room and go, yeah, I could do that, no problem. I watched it 3 times. And I was like, oh, hell no.
No.
Joyce had 8 hours of labor.
I don't care if it was 3 hours, honey. It's still not even. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy.
Well, that's because we had to kill the beast, and you stayed home and had the babies and raised the babies, and we went off and had to kill. And since now we can go to the Kroger's or the meat market or whatever and buy the kill, we've got to find our ways of still looking tough. I'm just honest about it. I don't feel the need to flaunt.
Wigwag.
Hey, Wigwag, how are you?
Up from his neck. Yeah, Lenny was 8 hours, 8.5.
Yeah.
And the other 2 were less than 5.
She still doesn't realize how bad the second delivery was.
It was bad. You know it was bad.
They started things started going sideways because our daughter was big and not coming out straight.
And I'm not.
And all of a sudden I heard the doctor and the nurse go, oh shit. Then they said, get him out of here. And then the word hemorrhaging was used, and they grabbed me and ran me out and then brought me in about 20 minutes later. And there was blood everywhere. She almost died giving birth with the number 2. And then a year later, she's like, let's have one more. And I'm like, no. Come on, one more. No. I'm not watching you go through that again. And then she said, you still don't have a son. And I'm like, damn you. You need to carry on the Dodge name.
I'm pretty sure
Damn
with
you.
AJ, it was just like, we have another one, great. If we don't, it's all right.
Doctors tried, but the whale died. Oh, Paul, that's horrible.
It was pretty rough there, bud. All right. Did you want the
All right.
DiGiorno pizza?
Yeah, we could do that if you want.
Here's it here.
Oh, wait. I didn't want to stop them on me. Fine. Come on, all the way down. All the way down. I can stop you. Where's the real good? Real good stop.
Shorts at the airport kickstarting jumbo jets. Frozen pizza.
Well, we can do something else. I'm game.
Yeah, I'm alright with it. It's food.
It's food.
Nancy's in.
I'm secure in my masculinity. I don't need to do the Neanderthal man strong, woman weak shit.
It's true.
And I'm not some bottom.
Hey, Florida, I assume railroad.
Hey, Florida
dog?
Railroad Dog just came in. We were just wrapping up, dude. Thanks for
Yep.
coming in. And don't forget, hit like and subscribe, and please send money, thousands, $10,000 to the Scale Figure Amputation Prevention Society. A figure is a horrible thing to waste. See what I did there? Figure, waste.
I do, yeah. Nice, good for you.
Don't let figures be wasted. Watch your figure. Whatever. The UCI
cool.
is racing this week in my city. Watch it live. Ah, okay.
That's cool.
We'll see if we can get that. So anyhow, yeah, we are going to go do our dinner thing. And once again, I thank you for the honor and privilege of trying to keep you entertained on a Friday evening. I am always bewildered that so many people actually stop by and listen to all this and watch all this, but it just means you guys are wonderful people.
Yippers.
Or really sad and pathetic people who find entertainment from me.
Right.
Anyhow, everybody take care. Good night. And from the Mouth Train Outsider, we'll say...
Bye. Choose.
No. Auf Wiedersehen. Choose. And happy trains. Take care.
Bye. Oh my God.